Hello, I'm Michelle Gregerson, and this is my take of Their Stories Aren't Over Yet. We all have kids of trauma in our classrooms, and they're going to show signs that from the trauma that they're tired, they're anxious, they have trouble concentrating. They're also going to show signs of impulse control and even avoiding adults and slow to build relationships. But these are the students that truly need us the most, as the amount of trauma that they go through, any trauma, impacts the brain and its development within the chemical balance and within the size of the brain. And this trauma can have lifelong effects. You can see that children of trauma are more likely to lead to alcohol and drug abuse, develop traumatic relationships later in life, and even a 15% greater chance of committing suicide. Children of trauma don't always know how to respond to their feelings, to their frustration, to their anger, and they will show us as the best they know how. And a lot of times that comes out with behaviors. But we have to know that it's not directed at us. It's their way of communication. And as educators, we need to figure out what is going on and why, so that we can be the best advocate for them and their learning. Relationships with our students, but especially our students of trauma, is vital. Um, it may take some time, but we can't give up. They may have some trouble with trusting adults, but we have to provide that love and that care and that consistency that we are here for them. It's also important that we are aware of the children in our classroom, their trauma, but our trauma as well, as along with their triggers and ours as well, so that we don't cause any re-traumatization in the classroom. And then coping skills is going to go a long way in the healing process with our children, and teaching and modeling those coping skills, and having the kids go through that as well, so that they know which skill is going to work best for them depending on situations that arise. And then it's very beneficial for us and then kids as well that we are incorporating the 6 hours into each of our lessons, where it's going to be relational, is that they feel safe, relevant, that we are teaching our students where they are at, and repetitive, that we are showing consistency and reward. Everyone wants to have some fun during the day. Rhythmic is that we're having some deep breathing, and then respectful, that we empathize with them in their situations and we're listening to their thoughts and fears. And then the stories for the children, for them to know that we care, developing that relationship. We want them to be successful, and show them that we're not going to give up on them no matter what happens. And then for them to know that each day is a new day. I think often of a boy in the class where he was very smart. He'd catch on quite quickly, but he struggled cognitively, and went through a great deal of trauma at home, where he lost his brother. His mom passed away, so he was with his dad, who really didn't know what to do with him. There was instances where he would be in the car for 3 hours in the middle of the night while his dad was at the casino. There was times that dad would lock him out of the house when he told him it was time to come home. And there was many adults that failed this child over and over. And he showed true resiliency and just basic survival, and tell me that he would just do what he had to do. He would come in oftentimes dysregulated. He'd be hyper, he'd be excessively tired. I would have to, give him some reminders of some of his coping skills that we both knew that would work well for him when he was in those situations. But I believe his story is not over. Um, he has a long way to go toward healing, and building his faith and trust in adults is going to take some time. But I think having trauma-informed educators in his life will aid in his healing and show the negative effects that trauma has will not follow him into adulthood. Thank you for listening.